going to look at creating a Google spreadsheet using Google Sheets. So if you log into Google, you want to click on the apps icon, and then somewhere you should be able to find the Sheets. So we'll click on that, and we'll do a blank spreadsheet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the example that I gave you, that is the number of months since July, and then the value of the iPhone. So we're going to enter our data just like it is on the document here. So we go back to the spreadsheet, you type in number of months since July and then the value exactly as it appears on the sheet, and then create the entire table that way. And once you have the entire table entered, you highlight the table, and then you're going to insert a chart. And the chart that we want to insert, this is just the default that came up, but we want to do a scatter plot. So that's what this option is here, scatter chart. So that's how you create the scatter plot. You may notice that the scatter plot that it came up with, the very top point is almost cut off. So what you can do is you can change the axes and the labels on the axes and the tick marks. So the way you do that is you go over to Customize and the vertical axis. Okay, so you want to choose that. And then you can enter the values that you want into the minimum and maximum. Now the minimum starting at 0 is perfectly fine. And then the maximum, in order to fit that 400 in there, you might want to change to maybe 450. And notice what that did. It changed the scaling here on the axes. And now all the points fit in there nicely. The next thing we want to do is create the trend line for the linear model. So to do that, we go to Customize, and we want to customize the series. And if we scroll down, notice there's a box to check for the trend line. And you could change the colors on the trend line. You can do different types. What we're concerned with right now is just doing a linear model. And then with the label, we're going to use the equation, and that will actually put the equation somewhere on your scatter plot. So it drew the line of best fit for your linear model, and it gave you the equation of that linear model. If you wanted to, you can double click on where the equation is and drag it somewhere else if you want to. That's up to you. You can also double click on any of the labels on the axes and relabel them, and call them something different if you wish. Okay, so you can do that right here. So value of iPhone. And that just relabels it up here. And you can do the same thing with the vertical and horizontal labels also. Now, if you labeled them differently in your boxes to start with, in your column here, it would have put those labels when you did this. You can also just move your graph if you choose to by clicking on it and dragging it. And there's all kinds of different options. If you double click, you can go through and just play around with the different options here. And it's fairly straightforward to use. You can just redo inserting the chart if you need to redo it, just delete it and reinsert it. So that's just a quick overview of how to create a trend line or linear model using Google Sheets. If you decided that you wanted to copy this graph into a Google document, you can click on it and then go to edit and copy it. And I already opened up a Google document, but then you can paste it into the document. So if you wanted to answer questions where you typed them out and insert a graph, you could do it that way.